We're on.
Happy days. Football News UK fans, how are we all doing? Sean, how are we doing, my friend?
Doing good, all good, mate. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm all good. So, guys, we're here today to talk about the Harry Kane transfer to Bayern Munich. So, obviously, it's been quite a long, drawn-out transfer saga. It looks like it's going to go ahead. We want as much interaction as we possibly can with this. So, Sean, obviously, it looks like it's going to go ahead. He looks like he's off to Germany. What do you make of it? What are you saying?
Well, he's already gone, mate. He's already gone. He's on the bench, mate.
Yeah.
Bayern Munich are playing now. They're actually losing 2-0, but Harry Kane's on the bench. So, it's a big move, and I think it's the right move for him to be winning trophies. I personally, mate, I think he should have gone a long time ago, to be honest with you. Because he's not going to win. Let's face it, he's not going to win any trophies at Spurs, is he? So I think it's the right move for him now. And personally, like I say, I thought he should have gone a few years ago, to be honest. So, I think he's going to do well, mate. I think he's going to do well. I think, obviously, it's going to push Bayern Munich on to win more leagues, isn't it? I mean, I know they win. It's with the 11th in a row, wasn't it, last season? So I think with Harry Kane now signing for the club, it's just going to push him on even more. So it's for me, mate. It's a good move, and also with me being an Arsenal fan as well, I think it's it's good for Arsenal as well because Harry Kane always scores against us. So I'm happy about that. But I think it's a good signing for Bayern Munich.
Yeah, I'd agree with you there completely. I must admit, previous to tonight's episode, I've been listening to a lot of reaction from these so-called experts. And yes, Jamie Carragher, Gary Neville, I'm aiming this at you before I start. So I'm now going to go on a massive rant about these pair, right? Because the contradiction with these two pundits at the moment is absolutely unbelievable. And I'm going to start. This is the perfect sort of scenario with what's happening with Harry Kane for me to talk about this, right? So with Neville and Carragher, they're both gobby, as we both have gathered down the years. They both think they know best. And what makes me laugh is that with them pair, you can't win with them in any regard. So I'm going to start off with the Saudi Arabia thing, right? And then hopefully to all the viewers, it will make sense. And guys, please leave your comments in the comment section. So Neville and Carragher, right, have criticised players this summer going to Saudi Arabia for extreme amounts of money, right? Whether it be 700 grand, 250 grand a week, whatever it may be, okay? And you can't win with them that way.
No.
So you've got Harry Kane, right, who genuinely wants to go and further his career, yet to win a major honour, and he won't do it at Spurs because Spurs and Ange Postecoglou have got a massive job on their hands to get them to a place where they want to be.
Yeah.
And yet Neville and Carragher are going on about him sticking round to beat Alan Shearer in some poxy all-time goal-scoring record, Sean. And it's like, what is wrong with these guys? I honestly, I am getting sick to the back teeth of those two pundits, mate. I really, really am, because you just can't win with them both. And an even bigger surprise with this, right, is I'm now going to praise Jamie Redknapp, who I very rarely do. So I'm actually going to give a bit of praise to Jamie Redknapp tonight, because it's like, Jamie Redknapp came out and said it's a great move for him. He's going to be able to, enhance his career. He's going to be able to win, the Bundesliga. He's going to be able to win the Champions League. And what I really liked about what Redknapp said, Sean, was that people going about, well, Bayern Munich have won 11 leagues on the run. But hang on a minute, this country, our domestic league, our top domestic league, has been dominated by Manchester City recently. So,
Yeah.
So I'm really pleased Redknapp came out of that to shut up those other two idiots at times, which Neville and Carragher are, and to stop them contradicting themselves on a regular basis, because you just can't win with them. 1 minute they're having a go at players for going to Saudi Arabia for too much money at the wrong stage of their career. But then on the flip side of the coin, they want players to stay at a club where they're not going to win anything, and they're going against a great player who wants to go and enhance his career and win major honours. I mean, Sean, you explain that to me.
Well, you can't, can you? You know, it's all about winning trophies, isn't it, Saul, at the end of the day?
Yeah.
And it's all good saying, he's going to be the best goal scorer ever in the Premier League.
Yeah.
But ultimately, mate, like I say, it all comes down to winning major honours, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And I think, like I said before, it's a good move now for Harry Kane to move on and win titles at Bayern Munich, and just for himself as well, because obviously he's not won anything, has he?
Yeah,
of such a good player that he is, he's just not. I just think he just needs to go there and win titles. End off. That's the way football is, and you should be going there to win titles. Yes, he's won like golden boots, hasn't he? But ultimately, it comes down to winning trophies for the team and for himself. So, it's a good move for him. And going back to the Gary Neville and that, you're right in what you're saying. You can never win with either of those two, can you? There's always something that they have to say. But it's good for Harry Kane anyway. And like I say, he's actually on the bench tonight, mate. So who knows? He might come on and score. So they're actually 2-0 down at the minute. So you might come on and score the winners, or at least the equaliser. So good move overall for him, mate. I'm quite happy with that.
Yeah, and I think the only point that I agreed with Carragher on, and it's a very interesting point, and it's something that will benefit England, Sean. And guys, let us know what you think in the comment section. Is the winter break that they get in Germany? So obviously they get that sustained period of time where they rest and recuperate, obviously with the winter break, and I think that's great news for England, because the thing is, it's like it's going to give them a really it's going to give Harry Kane a good sort of rest in terms of the international scene, and also it's going to benefit England as well. And I just think that's getting overlooked a little bit. I think with we need England Harry Kane fit and well, don't we? He's our main striker. He's the one that's gonna he's our main our main goal threat. And also I think it's going to have huge benefits for England as well. So although I've criticised Neville and Carragher tonight, which I don't regret because they deserve it, it is that that's a massive plus point that Kane's going to get that time to rest, and hopefully with the European Championships coming up next year, which we're hoping to go over to Germany and win, I think that's a massive advantage for England, Sean.
I think as well, Saul, obviously he's going to go to Bayern Munich now, and when he's scoring all the goals for Bayern Munich, when he comes to England for the England games next year as well, he's going to have the most confident player going into it, isn't he? With him scoring all these goals and stuff in the Bundesliga, and I think that's all good for him mentally as well, going into those England games, isn't he? So like I say, he's gonna do well there, mate. He's gonna do well.
Yeah, and I think as well, like Bayern Munich are in those sort of group of clubs, aren't they? That have got the opportunity to win the Champions League every season. I think like when you look at the European sort of landscape, in football, Sean, there's a group of clubs, isn't there? You've got Real Madrid, you've got Liverpool, you've got Man United, and these big clubs who have got this big winning mentality, especially with the history that they've had in the European Cup. And Bayern Munich fall into that category, and I think Kane. The thing I'm going to be most interested in watching, Sean, especially with being an England fan, is like I want Harry Kane to develop a winning mentality as well, because it's clear to see that you can tell he's a Spurs player. You can, you just can.
Yeah.
When he's playing for England, get through these poxy group stages that we always get through, and when it gets to the nitty gritty, mate, you can tell he's been playing for a club who's used to losing, and you can, and hopefully now, with him going to Bayern Munich, who are absolute serial winners, which they are, which it proves it by winning 11 leagues on the run and being in contention to win a European Cup every year, plus a German Cup. I believe that Kane, will benefit England as well. And I just think, I think it's a brilliant move. I think it's a very brave move. If you look at some of the England strikers that we've had down the years, the two that come to mind are Matt Le Tissier and Alan Shearer. Now, Matt Le Tissier had the opportunity to move to a bigger club when he was at Southampton. He chose not to. And at the end of career, when he goes in his cabinet, he's got 0 medals. He's got nothing.
He stayed there, didn't he, at Southampton?
He stayed there. And
the whole of his career, wasn't it?
And decided to partake in a load of relegation battles, which is neither here or there. You've got Alan Shearer, who had the chance to go to Barcelona, Manchester United, all these big clubs, and he's the same as well. He's only got 1 Premier League medal with Blackburn to show for it. So I admire Kane. I respect him for his ambition, and I wish him all the best at Bayern Munich, mate. And there's no doubt that if Bayern Munich carry on the way they are, they're going to win stuff with Kane in the side, Sean, aren't they?
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. It's going to be more so now that they've got a world-class striker like Harry Kane going into the team.
Yeah.
So obviously they're gonna do even better, aren't they, this season? Saying that, they've just gone 3-0 down. So
they've gone 3-0 down. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but that it's the Super Cup, so it's kind of like the Community Shield, isn't it? If you like.
German Community Shield. Yeah.
But yeah, when the season comes to it, mate, I think that's when it it starts, doesn't it? The business starts at the start of the season. So yeah, Kane's going to do amazing there, mate. I'm actually looking forward to actually seeing him tonight, mate. I'm not going to lie. Even though being an Arsenal fan, it's just interesting to see what he's going to be like. His first game in Germany. I think he'll do well, mate.
Yeah, I think as well. Like, with all due respect, it's like you can see it's going to be quite weird, because is it going to be more difficult for him to score goals? I've watched a few Bayern Munich games last season, and it's pretty a muchness of a muchness, mate. Really, when like teams come to Bayern, they sit deep, don't they? Which it doesn't work. You might as well go for it. But I can see him. Honestly, mate, it's scary to think, really, Sean, isn't it? How many goals he's going to score in the Bundesliga, really?
I think it's about time, though, so that Bayern Munich did get a top striker. Ever since Lewandowski left, I think they've been playing Sane there as a striker, and Gnabry as well. Which obviously I don't think they're not really centre forwards, are they? They're more wingers, if you like. So. I think this now Harry Kane is Lewandowski's like replacement, because, like I say, last season they didn't really have a main man, did they, up front?
No.
They've got a brilliant front three. Don't get me wrong, but like Kingsley Coman, Gnabry, and Sane. But for me, obviously, they're like wingers, aren't they? They're not really out and out strikers. So I think he's going to be the replacement for Lewandowski because, like I say, they never really had anyone after him particularly last season. I mean, they only just, to be fair, mate, they only just won the title last season, didn't they?
Yeah.
If it wasn't for Dortmund losing the last game of the season, they won it by that.
Yeah, I think basically Borussia Dortmund just kind of went on the last day of the season. There you go. There's your 11th league, didn't they? They just chucked it away. But I think what I'm going to be interested to see, Sean, as well, with Kane going to Bayern as well, is going to be the style of play as well. It's like what I've noticed with Kane in the last sort of few seasons is that he's getting really good, mate, at dropping off the front, isn't he? So if he's playing in a 4-3-3, he's very, very good at coming deep, receiving the ball on the half turn, and then allowing the two wingers to cut in and make those runs. With Coman and Sane, and Gnabry, they've all been a revelation at Bayern Munich, haven't they? Really, they did well to sign all three of those Bayern. And I think it's going to add a different dimension.
You're right. You're right, because like Harry Kane, he's a good. He holds the ball up well, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And like say, he brings in other players. He's a good passer of the ball as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
Short passes, long passes. He can do that. He can do both. And for me, he does bring in. If you put a long ball up to him, mate, he's gonna hold the ball up, isn't he, and bring in the wingers into the attack. So, again, mate, he's just an all round good centre forward, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's got everything, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah,
just on that. So, Chris, thanks very much for commenting, mate. So, just read the comment out. So, hello, lads. Hope you're well. We are well, Chris. Hope you are too, bud. This Kane chance is a bit of good business, but does it work the Bayern way? So to say Lewandowski offered something completely different than Kane. Yeah, I get what he's trying to say, Chris. What I would say to that is I think Lewandowski is proven wherever he's been, whether it be at Borussia Dortmund, obviously when he's been playing at international level with Poland, and obviously his record at Bayern. And now at Barcelona, I think Lewandowski's more of a predator, isn't he? In terms of he's more of a box player. I think with Kane, with Kane he will enhance the way Bayern play altogether. I think he's got that sort of he's really developed his game this last few years, where he's come into his own. And, he's got that ability now to drop off the front. He's got the ability now. He's got good tactical awareness as well. He works incredibly hard for the team, as you've seen at Spurs in England, which I don't think Lewandowski always did. So if Bayern Munich can get, that and also Kane's goal scoring sort of prowess, if you like, Bayern Munich are in for a treat. They really, really are. I think Kane all round is better than Lewandowski. I think he's got more to his game. What do you think, Jonesy?
I think you're right. I think, like you say, Lewandowski is more of a poacher, isn't he? He gets most of his goals in the box, doesn't he, Lewandowski? But Harry Kane, he scores all sorts of types of goals, doesn't he? Free kicks and that. And I think it's really good news for the Bundesliga that Harry Kane signed, but it's bad news for the other team, isn't it? Particularly Borussia Dortmund, for the main sort of challenges, if you like, for the Bundesliga title.
Yeah, definitely. I think as well. It's going to be an interesting one, really. I think there's got to come a stage in every domestic league, Sean, and we spoke about this, haven't we, on our European coverage, where other teams start to take responsibility for what they're actually doing. So you've got PSG in France, Bayern in Germany, you've got the two Scottish clubs in Scotland, you've got Real Madrid and Barcelona. Atletico Madrid have joined that in the last few years, and I think there's got to come a time where other teams have got to start to get their house in order, if you like. And I think but Bayern have got a brilliant business model as well, mate. They are so well run. It is unbelievable. I think Bayern Munich are the most well-run club in European football. I genuinely do believe that. I mean, Sean, we got a bit of, didn't we, the other day when we went to Glasgow? I mean, Celtic are obviously a bit like that. They're very well run, but I think as well it's Bayern have got this relentlessness about them and this ruthlessness where they win a league and instead of resting on the laurels and thinking, well, we've won 11 leagues on the bounce, he thinks to himself, right, how can we win the next one? How can we compete for the Champions League in a stronger way? How can we do a domestic double? And I think signing Harry Kane is a big step in the right direction towards that. I mean,
it's a statement signing, isn't it?
Of course it is. Yeah.
You're bringing in Harry, the England captain, for big money as well. Obviously he wasn't going to go with the money these days. He wasn't going to go less than 100 million, was he?
No.
So, it's big pressure as well on Harry Kane to do well there and perform.
Yeah.
With that big price tag. But I think he'll do well, mate. His record obviously in the Premier League speaks for itself, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So for me, mate, I think he's going to go on and score a lot of goals in the Bundesliga. Yeah. So it's like I say, it's good for the Bundesliga, but not so good for the other teams, like for the rest of them.
Yeah, I think as well. I think that's a good point. I'd like to move on to the next sort of part of this transfer saga as well. So Ange Postecoglou, Sean, he's gone in there, hasn't he, at Spurs? Already got a massive job on his hands in terms of what he's got to do, what he's got to rebuild at Tottenham. And I don't know. I'm kind of sort of like caught in two minds with this. Postecoglou has proven already that he can get the best out of his players and can get them playing in a certain way and the way he wants. Yes, people can say, well, anybody could have gone to Celtic and done that. But listen, you still have to win the trophies. You still have to do it, mate. Now, I'm of the impression, mate, that Kane is such a big loss to Spurs. I think Paul Merson was again another one. Paul Merson was wide of the mark again. Paul Merson doesn't really like to engage his brain before he speaks at times, which is seems a bit of a struggle for him. Yeah, and it's like kind of he was saying, well, Spurs are a bottom half side. Well, no, they're not a bottom half side. They're full of international players, right, of a good standard. And if they can replace Kane in a competent way, which I'm sure Postecoglou will do with the players that they're being linked to, then, what do you think about that? Do you think that Postecoglou is going to be capable of replacing Kane?
It's going to be very hard, mate, to actually replace Harry Kane. I mean, who is there out there now? Who is he going to get? I mean, I saw weeks ago that they were linked with Mbappe. He's not going to go to Spurs, with all due respect, is he?
No, you're not.
And we spoke about this today, didn't we? On the way to the game today. But he's got even more pressure now to deliver because he's just lost his star player, hasn't he, in Harry Kane?
Yeah.
And like I say, who's going to replace him? I can't really think realistically, mate, who they're going to get in. No. You've got Son there, haven't you? But he wasn't the greatest last season. He wasn't in the best form last season, was he? as he used to be a couple of seasons ago. You know, he was scoring goals for fun. Harry Kane and Son linking up, they had a fantastic, link together, didn't they?
Yeah.
But yeah, you know what? I think Spurs are going to struggle this season for me. Like I say, because I don't know who they're going to bring in.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be very difficult to fill Harry Kane's boots, isn't it?
Yeah, just got a comment here. So yeah, Craig, 4 minutes left and Kane has not come on yet. Bloody hell, give him a bit of time, Craig. But no, thanks for your comment. I think, yeah, I think it's kind of obviously it's the deal's just been done and probably Kane's getting that sort of
Well, he only arrived this morning, didn't he?
Yeah, so he's probably not. Tuchel's not going to chuck him straight in. But at the end of the day, yeah, it's a fair comment. Maybe it would have been wise in starting him tonight, but yeah, Tuchel decided not to, and hopefully, when Bayern play against, they have got Werder Bremen in the first Bundesliga fixture of the season, so hopefully he'll get a game there. So just going back to what we were going on about there, Sean. So, with Postecoglou now, he's got a massive job, but so let's talk about. To round everything off, then let's talk about what Bayern could go on and achieve this season with Kane in the side. So many people would go and say, right, they're going to win the league. I'm not going to lie, I fully expect him to win the league. Tonight's result people will look at me and you and go, what are you going on about? But realistically, they're going to be favourites to win the league. What sort of challenge? And guys, leave your comments in the comment section. Let us know what you think. What sort of challenge do you think they're going to put up in Europe? Do you think they're going to be there or thereabouts with Kane inside?
It's a tough one, man. It's like, I worry about them defensively, mate. I think they are conceding more goals lately from a few seasons back. They were winning games easy and weren't really conceding that many goals. But I was watching last season and they did concede a few goals, haven't they?
Yeah.
Obviously, they're great going forward. You've got the attacking players like Kane now and Sane, Gnabry, Coman. But I just worry for him at the back, mate. I think if you're a Bayern Munich fan, yes, you expect them to win the title, the Bundesliga title. But it all comes down now, if you're a Bayern Munich fan, is the Champions League. Because they've not won it for a bit now, have they?
Yeah.
But this is what I mean with Harry Kane. Obviously, it's going to boost their chances of winning it more. But for me, I just worry about him defensively. I don't know what you think about that, but that's just my opinion of the defence. Because you saw, last season in the Champions League when it was Upamecano, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He was. Did he get sent off in one of the games?
Yeah, I think
the Champions League games. In the knockout stages, and I think that. That sort of, obviously, when you go down to 10 men, that's. I think they got knocked out, didn't they? By that, obviously, it didn't help going down to 10 men, but yeah, I just worry about them defensively, mate.
Yeah, I agree. I think as well. I mean, the letting of Upamecano, on the, it's well known that they are good players, but. I don't know. I don't think De Ligt's been the same ever since he left Ajax, Sean. I generally don't think he has. That played in that Ajax team in the Champions League run when they got to the semi-final and funnily enough, knocked out by Spurs. I just don't think he's been the same player. The problem is as well with Bayern Munich is because in the Bundesliga, and I mean this with all due respect, I'm in the corner of winning any league's a great achievement. You've got to be consistent over a certain amount of games. But in the Bundesliga, you're going to get away with little defensive mistakes, aren't you? But when you're in the last 16 of the Champions League, mate, and you're away at the Bernabeu, or you're playing the Liverpool, Man City, or any of the world-class teams that have been around in this last 3 to 4 years, you're going to get punished. You are going to get punished. And I think definitely. I've been surprised really, because the lack of investment that Bayern have made in their defence this year, I've been really, really surprised. But if they want to mount a challenge for the Champions League, mate, then they have to. They have to, invest in other areas of the pitch. I think in the middle of midfield, I think they're always going to be strong. I absolutely love Kimmich, mate. I think Kimmich he's got to be one of my favourite footballers ever. The guy's just an absolute.
There was rumours this summer that he was leaving. I heard links that Liverpool were after him, but obviously Tuchel's kept him, and so he should, because obviously he's been, he's a brilliant player, isn't he? In that midfield, he's like a sort of Philip Lahm, if you like. He started off at right back, didn't he? And now he's gone into centre midfield, hasn't he? And I think that's what Philip Lahm did as well. He's gone down the same sort of route as him, hasn't he? Gone from the right back into central midfield. It's just finished, by the way, 3-0. So Leipzig win it.
Yeah, good comparison there, Jonesy, as well, with Lahm and Kimmich. Philip Lahm was absolutely amazing, and two players of high football intelligence, aren't they? They can, they basically they're so adaptable. I mean, Kimmich can play a variety of different positions, and he's so trustworthy. But like we've alluded to, Sean, I just worry for him at the back. But going back to the subject of this episode, great signing with Kane, and I'm sure you'll join me, Jonesy, in wishing him all the best in that. And I just want to finish off this episode as well, Sean, as well, and this will be our final piece on this. I just want to give a big shout out to Harry Kane as well, because the way he's conducted himself through this transfer saga, if you like, I think has been absolutely amazing. So when you hear about footballers moving on potentially, you get all this, garbage that, they're missing training, they're falling out with the manager, they're making it difficult around the place, they're being disrespectful to the staff at the training ground and everything like that. And they basically
transfers, aren't they, as well? Like a transfer request as well, aren't they? Some of them do.
Yeah, but what I've been so impressed with Kane is that the way he's conducted himself, he's not disrespected Tottenham in any regard whatsoever. He's let the hierarchy deal with the transfer the way it is, and I've got to tip my hat to Harry Kane for that. And that just makes you that just shows to me what sort of professional he is, and how serious he takes his own career, and that he wants to enhance it, but at the same time not destroy the legacy that he's left at Tottenham. Because although he's left, he's still going to go down as one of the greatest ever strikers to play for Tottenham. There's no getting away from that. Where he's come from, he was going nowhere. And then Pochettino came in, saw something in him, and then boom, we've got like one of the best strikers that England's ever seen, probably the closest to Alan Shearer that we'll see in ages. So, big shout out to Harry Kane for that, mate. I don't know whether you agree.
Oh yeah, he's a top professional, isn't he? You can't deny that. It's hard to say that coming from me being an Arsenal fan, but I think he's a top professional, obviously England captain, and we wish him all the best, mate. I think, like I say before, he's going to do really well there, and he's probably going to fire Bayern into the 12th consecutive title, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely.
So for me, overall, it's a top signing for Bayern, and a good move for Harry Kane as well to win titles.
Yeah. Well, Sean, happy days, mate. So that concludes this episode. So, guys, we just thought we'd do a bit of a review of this transfer sort of saga that's been going on with Harry Kane. I hope you've enjoyed the episode. Thank you for everybody who's made the comments. So, guys, we've got some exciting content coming up in next week as well. Football season is back. Thank God, and we're going to be doing a lot of Premier League reaction as well, obviously from the results today. We've got the European reaction coming up, Leagues 1, 2, the Championship. The only place to find all the proper coverage will be on this channel, guys. Big shout out to all the subscribers who've subscribed so far. We can't thank you enough.
And also, Saul, we're actually live as well.
We're actually live. We are indeed. So
live show
on YouTube
as well.
Yeah, so this is our first live show, and we're you're absolutely buzzing with that, and this is the sort of interaction we want going forward, guys, as well. So when we're doing this, we're gonna be going live on here. So please leave your comments. We're always up for a healthy debate. What me and Sean say about certain things within the football world isn't gospel. So like I say, get involved, because that's what we're here for. So guys, we will be doing a couple of shorts to let you know what's coming up in the next week or so. And again, thank you so much for all your support. Anything from you, Mr. Jones?
Just thank you everyone for your support, and the subscribers as well. We can't it's been amazing, hasn't it? The reaction we've had with all you guys, and long may it continue with all the subs and stuff. So yeah, thank you so much for that. We really do appreciate it, don't we, Saul?
We do indeed. We do indeed. So guys, thank you very much for all your interaction tonight, and it's a good night from me, and it's a good night from Mr. Jones. Thanks so much, everybody. Appreciate it.
Cheers, guys.